welcome back everybody to 12 Foot Chain. This week we're going to tackle Jet Airliner by Steve Miller Band. This is one of those songs that just such a great staple of rock and roll. Doing a little research on this song, I never realized this wasn't his song, actually. He didn't exactly cover it word for word, but it's sort of half a cover, half his. I think most people in the world know it as a Steve Miller song, but in fact it's not. It's by this guy. If you were like me for many, many years trying to play this song, could never really figure out to get the sound right, and I didn't know what was going on. And like many things in rock and roll, if you're working too hard at it, they didn't do it that way. And after some research, he's playing with the capo on this song. So all my life I was trying to play it with bar chords and it was just never really sounding right. And if you've done that too, I think you probably realize that too. Yeah, he's capoing. It's a capo song. Capoed at 3. So overall tone, how do we get the tone on this song? So very much, to me, sounds like a Strat. But the closest I can get is, for my ear anyway, is a Strat on the number 2 position. These 2 pickups. I'm wide open on the volume, wide open on tone. I have just a little bit of overdrive from a pedal. Really almost none. Like the difference is very minute. It's not 100% clean, but it really isn't dirty either. And so it's very, very fine line. So if you do dial in a distortion or an overdrive pedal, just really play with it at the very, very lowest ends of that parameter. And I think you'll find what you're looking for. Anyway, so there's layers of guitars in this song. So we're going to talk about the intro. We'll talk about the main verse sections, and we'll talk about the chorus. And those are all the components of the song. It repeats throughout. So I'm not going to play through the entire song, but I'm going to play through all those components, and we'll learn them together. All right, so the intro. So the intro is very close to the Crossroads, the classic, Eric Clapton Crossroads riff. And again, doing some research, I naturally want to do that. But I watched Steve Miller play it, and for some reason, he goes... so he's not playing an open G string there. He's playing the note on the D string. And when you listen to the record, or when I listen to it now, I guess I can hear that now because every one of those notes is very precise. It's not that bright, He's almost choking them off a little bit. When you have an open string, you can't do that. So I suspect he's doing that. You watch him play it live. Nowadays, he plays it down in A, which is the same sort of positions. But when he plays it in A, he does that stretch up there. So I suspect he was doing that on the record as well when they were recording it in C. So that riff is... Behind that is another guitar going, or double tracked, or 2 guitars going. I don't think it's the same guitar doing both of them. There's too much precision going on there between the two. And when you sort of jump from and try and do all of that together, you sort of fall over yourself a little bit, where it sounds something like... It's close enough if you're playing it live, right? But I think on the record, there's that other guitar, or those other 2 guitars going. And then the others are playing the riff, and it's an octave. So that riff that I just played up is also being duplicated up here on the octave. I don't know if you hit the C or not, but or you just leave it. Okay. So if you have two guitars live and you can pull off that octave solo, that's sweet, because nobody does it live. And also, if you can do the capo thing live, you play that, people are really gonna react to that, because also people don't do that live. You never see it. Anyway, so that's the intro section. The verse sections now. So there's two guitars going on. One of them is a very straight chugga chugga chugga, the rock and roll choo choo train thing. Right? So you're mostly living on the A and the D string, on 2 and 4 on the D string. And you're going to switch over to the D. That's one of the guitars. It's doing pretty much that the whole time. Second time around, it does this really cool, right? It just really so he departs from that chugga chugga. So then you keep on chugging. And then you're going to go down to a G to D. So, dun, tugga, tugga, dun, tugga, tugga. And your G is always your... Make sure you have your note on the, your ring finger on the D note, or the B string. Not this. Make sure you do this. D. Then again. And then if you really want to be fancy, coming out of that part, going into the chorus, it goes. So. So that'll nail that part. And this is where the two guitars diverge. I'm going to go over the second guitar in just a minute for that whole section. But up until now, it's almost doing the same thing. But here's where they diverge. So the first time on the chorus, guitar number 1 and guitar number 2 do this arpeggio where they pick the first 4 notes of the G chord and then the last 4 notes of the D chord. Right? That speed. Like that. Now the guitar number 1 keeps doing that the whole chorus. That's that whole guitar number 1 section. Let's go back to guitar number 2. I'm going to take you all the way back to the beginning of that verse section and all the way through the chorus there on guitar number 2. So guitar number 2 is playing a little looser. So number 1 was doing that. Guitar number 2 is just playing it a little looser. It's more chords. And he's doing more of these. So the feel is. You hear that one guitar pop out on the record. That's that one. You're guitar number 1 on the first one. And then all the others you're going to do. Right? So that's the nuance between the two guitars. The whole rest of the song, it's basically repeating all of that. It just repeats it through the rest of the song. So there's no really difference in the parts. So that's really it. You have guitar number 1 that's really living on the parts of the song. You have guitar number 2 that's more of the feel. And they complement each other, obviously, when you're listening to it. If you're performing live, best to have 2 guitars. 2 guitars allows you to get the octave on the riff. Right. Strat, wide open volume, wide open tone. Pick up section number 2 with those 2. Get some clean amps. Just a very, very little bit of dirt, and you're going to nail this song. All right. Thanks for joining. Let me know what you think in the comments of this. If you learned anything new, let me know what you'd like me to tackle next week. We're coming at you every single week with more songs. And until next time, take care, everybody.